GCHSS has always placed a lot of importance on ensuring that its students leave our institution equipped not only with academic knowledge, but also with the necessary skills to make them more effective in the places of work. And as part of this initiative, this year, our school has launched a number of programs that are non-formal, but which are also accredited, and they are aimed to tackle these issues of 21st century skills that students are expected to have outside the place of school. These non-formal programs are accredited as an O-level at MQF level 3. This means that students who participate in these programs will end up having an added certificate that qualifies them for an extra O-level. It also means that when they go and apply and fill in a CV, that gives them an added benefit because employers actually seek students who have these kinds of skills. One of the programs which GCHSS offers is introducing EU affairs. Together with me today, I have Ms. Piera Xuereb, who together with Ms. Christine Benzina coordinate this program. Actually, this program this is the first year that it is accredited, but actually this program has been going on for a number of years. And Piera, I will provide you with a quote by Carmen Martinez, who is a director of Oakland Public Library, who said, "The more we increase the active participation and partnership with young people, the better we serve them. And the more comprehensively we work with them as service partners, the more we increase our public value to the entire community." So what is actually the program that you are offering, introducing EU affairs, and how does it fit with this concept of the Euroscola that we used to know the program as?
This course aims to bring the EU closer to students. Decisions taken at EU level affect us all, yet many feel detached and aloof. This program therefore offers the opportunity for students to familiar themselves with the workings of the EU, EU institutions, and what does it entail basically. We are collaborating with the European Parliament in Strasbourg to offer this opportunity to students and participate in the Euroscola project.
Okay, so in line with the National Youth Policy of Malta and also with EU strategy for youth, we find that a great deal of emphasis is placed on active participation by the young generation. To what extent does this program help in fostering this idea of active participation?
So, as I said, this project is organized by the European Parliament in Strasbourg. It brings youths between the age of 16 to 18 years together in Strasbourg at the Louise Weiss Hall, and they live the life of an MEP. And they are split into groups. They discuss topics of general interest, these topics would be assigned before they actually visit Strasbourg. And together they debate these issues, they come up with proposals, and in the end they will have a plenary session just like members of the European Parliament do. And basically they are encouraged to criticize, to come up with new strategies. The idea is, as you exactly said, to foster the idea of sharing good practices and debating new ideas. At the end of the day, the youths are the future politicians. So basically, this acts like a platform to give them the opportunity to come up with new, fresh ideas. They are encouraged to be creative as much as possible to tackle the issues that the EU is facing currently.
Okay, so how does one apply for the program? Is there a selection process? What happens?
On enrollment, students can select the course introducing EU affairs from the list of accredited subjects. But then when they actually come to school in the beginning of the scholastic year, they would find these boards available in the foyers of each block at school, and they can actually take an application, fill it in, and submit it in the boxes provided. And then
and the boxes are provided across the school.
Yes, in the foyers of each block.
Okay.
And once they submit their application, then we approach them, we announce the date of the exam, and the selection process starts from then onwards. And we guide them step by step, basically. As I just said, students would have to sit for a 1-hour exam, and the first 24 students who actually make it, who rank in this exam, would then start with more details of the course, and will actually visit Strasbourg later on in the year. The course then, at school we have devised a program, tailor-made basically, a program to enable them and help them to acquire the necessary skills to actually make the most out of this opportunity. Basically, we train them in public speaking, because obviously they need to make their point, defend their ideas, address an audience, so they acquire these skills. We also have speakers coming over to talk on the preset topics. We have teachers in-house who obviously give lectures. Then we organize tutorial sessions. Basically, the idea is to empower them as much as possible, give them the necessary skills to actually behave like politicians once they are in Strasbourg. Basically, this program unfolds over a period of months, but at the end they would feel sort of fully equipped to face the challenge. After all, they would be debating these issues with other students from the EU member states. Sometimes their proposals are challenged, sometimes they are immediately accepted, but that's the idea of it all, to bring students under one roof and find solutions to the challenges that we're facing.
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, all member states will have the same topics which they need to discuss.
Yes, exactly.
And then you have to kind of justify your...
Usually the topics are, as I said, of general interest, like the environment, sustainability of the environment, youth and employment, active citizenship. But then there would be like a challenge assigned to these topics, and they have to come up with ideas how to tackle this challenge, because from year to year these topics change a bit. But it is that's the challenge about it, to actually see how these students, they all have a baggage, and they all have their social backgrounds, they all have the country that they are representing, and then it's up to them to come up with the most innovative solutions.
Okay, so kind of you said what happens in Strasbourg, or is there more? It's just...
Basically, it's a whole day at the Parliament. They start by an introduction, then the floor would be open for question time, and students are encouraged to come up with questions and pose them to the EU officials present there, and they have time to contest those ideas there. Then they split up into the workshop sessions, and they meet the other students with the same assigned topic. And they decide which proposals to put forward at the end. And then in the plenary session, they vote for these proposals. Some proposals pass, others not. And some proposals would be successful, and others remain shelved for later on, basically. And then out of this sort of political program, then there is the cultural and educational side to it, because they get to visit Strasbourg, the architectural sites and heritage sites. And they actually also, besides these skills that they acquired, also make new friendships with students from different EU member states. Some of them continue to communicate with them even through social media. But actually, it's a whole experience out of this program. Very apart from acquainting themselves with what the EU has to offer for them, there is also the fact that it helps them to mature, all right, rather than just involve themselves into the political sphere. It's actually a good platform for them at this age group, which helps them as students and, as you said in the beginning, become more active citizens.
Now, you've been doing this for quite a number of years, and I'm sure you have some feedback from students after they go there. So what kind of experience do they have?
Yes, the school has been participating for the last 15 years or so in this program, and as I said, together with my colleagues, I mentioned Ms. Bedzina earlier on, it's fascinating for us to accompany the students and see how they're actually able to put what they've learned into practice. You see them sort of defending their ideas, making their point, stressing an idea. Sometimes they come to terms, there are times when they do not reach a compromise at all. But this is actually what is healthy about it, because they acquire these debating skills. And when they come back, they actually involve themselves in NGOs, sometimes in political entities. So this, as I said before, is like a stepping stone, all right, to further continue their career, not necessarily as politicians, but as active citizens.
Okay. So, Piera, how long do they stay in Strasbourg?
Yes, they spend 4 days in Strasbourg. As I said, there is the whole day at the European Parliament. They also visit the Council of Europe, another European institution, and they visit the historical sites. At the end of it all, they receive a certificate issued by the European Parliament, and that is really a plus, because it gives an added value to their CV later on. It helps them, as you said in the introduction, stand out from the other applicants when they apply for an interview or any other opportunity.
So before we conclude, would you like to add something else?
Yes, this project actually helps the students to know, to learn what the EU has to offer. Some students come back and they apply to other projects like Erasmus projects. Others apply for internships. Basically, they become more familiar with what the EU has to offer to them. And as I said before, the aim of the whole course would be achieved then, because the EU becomes something which is closer and more familiar to them.
And I'll add also that having the experience of being an MEP, even for one day, can boost your self-confidence, no? And in reality, I would like to end with another quote from Wendy Lesko, who's an executive director of the Youth Activism Project, who said, if you ever think you are too small to be effective, you have never been in bed with a mosquito. And the reality is that students, it builds their self-confidence, you know, with such an experience, because they can think that they will eventually make a change in the world.
Yes. It really, as I said, it empowers them. They believe more in themselves that they can do it. Even with just practicing their language skills, they get to practice other skills which maybe in class they don't have the opportunity to show them up, and there they are given the challenge.
Okay, thank you very much.